Old Trapper Beef Jerky, live as always, back together in New York City. It's Tuesday, December 26th, Boxing Day. Some people are putting away their gifts and cleaning up their house. Who cleaned up house over the weekend? I'm Jamie Erdahl. There's Kyle Brandt, Peter Schrager, and Jason McCourty. More answers than questions after those 3 games we saw yesterday, Peter? Or how did you think that went?
Good morning, Baltimore.
Hey! They cleaned the house. They wiped the floor with the 49ers.
Woo! We sure did. That was something. 3 different games, 3 maybe unexpected games, the way they came. We can still be prone to surprise, but should we get right into it?
Let's do it.
So.
What are we going to see, Kyle?
We're going to go to the Bay Area. We have the 2 best teams. They are the 1 seeds. It's the Ravens, the 49ers. We've been looking forward to this one, guys. We got Lamar, we got Purdy, we got MVPs, we got Super Bowl wishes, and we got a scoreless game early. Niners right down the field, no problem. Give me that. Kyle Hamilton jumps right in front of it. Purdy went to Debo, not a chance. Jason McCourty, get in here and do the gift celebration.
Yeah, open it up as gifts, because that was actually a hand-wrapped gift from Brock Purdy. Threw the ball right to Kyle Hamilton, and he takes advantage of the quarterback.
All right, so he throws 1 pick. It's all right, get out of this. Whoa, hold on. Marlon Humphrey picks it off. And let's shout out to Brandon Stevens as we see Humphrey run 50 yards down the field. Stevens jumps up. That old Chris McAllister, 21, knocks it down. So that's 2 picks. And Debo comes over and says, all right, we got this. Hold on. 10-5 after a hilarious safety and all kinds of other stuff. Purdy looking. There's already a flag that's going to end up being on McCaffrey, so this wouldn't count anyway. But he's trying to make a play. It's kind of a Lamar impression. It's intercepted again by Kyle Hamilton, who had this whole journey on this play we'll get into in a little bit. Hamilton looks like Ed Reed yesterday. I mean, he was a superstar. He looked great. And so Brock Purdy's thrown 3 interceptions in the first half. No one's done that in the NFL this season. Shanahan trying to figure this thing out. 13-5. The Niners are right there. And after a long run by McCaffrey to get them down there, he gets them in. He has 21 touchdowns. He ties Raheem Mostert, who had one earlier in the weekend, for the NFL lead. 3rd quarter, Ravens now lead 16-12. They're in the red zone. It's a 2nd and goal. Lamar looking, and all faithful, especially around Christmas time. Nelson Aguilar, touchdown. That's Lamar's 18th touchdown pass of the season. Are those MVP numbers? It's complicated. We'll talk about it. Harbaugh's in full fist pump. So 23-12. The Niners just don't have it going. And another pick. Patrick Damn Queen with my favorite play of the night that we might see in the Angry Run segment this week. Patrick Queen intercepts, and you thought he was going to house it for a second, Peter.
Yeah, and then they bring him down, and it's like, you look at this, Purdy actually got hurt during the play, too.
Yeah. Purdy was hit by Travis Jones. That's his 4th interception of the game. So all kinds of wildness. Shanahan throwing his hands up in the air. He's like, what is this? We have 12 points and 4 picks. Meanwhile, Lamar's like, give me that, no problem. Zay Flowers, who I believe that's a Grinch, a Seussian celebration. Here's what's fascinating. So ESPN reports that Purdy aggravated the stinger he had suffered last week. They sit him down. They put in Sam Darnold, who throws a touchdown. Good for him. But Darnold is in the game, and they're down 2 touchdowns with a minute left, desperation time. Guess what? It's intercepted by Marcus Williams, who's eventually going to go down. And this was a 2-score walloping in which they intercepted the 49ers 5 times. Lamar was great. He was magical. Baltimore looks like the best team on the planet. A decisive win on the road. 12-3 next to their name. Let's talk to Lamar Jackson being underdogs to the Niners and Brock Purdy. What happened last night?
I believe we play better under pressure. We keep our poise. We stay locked in. No matter how the game may seem, no matter what the crowd noise is, no matter how hard the defense hitting us, because the defense is flying around. Got to get credit when credit is due. But we just stay locked in. I don't think nobody play like us. We just need to keep playing that way. Keep playing the Raven way.
Trying to look at the big picture of what we're trying to do, what our team goals are. But at the same time, man, I have to look myself in the mirror and ask myself why or how that happened and why I made those decisions. And so our team came ready to play. And, for me to make some decisions like that, it pains me, and it's not fair to these guys. So I have to realize that and understand that, and I have to get better for my team.
All right, so where are we at with the playoffs? This is where we're at this morning. Ravens, the 1 seed. Dolphins, the 2 seed. They face each other this weekend. If the Ravens win out, they are the 1 seed and get the bye. The Chiefs, we'll get to them in a bit. They fall to the 3 seed. They cannot get the 1 seed. So that scenario of backdoor finding a way to host the Arrowhead Invitational for the 6th straight year, it will not happen. Jaguars are currently the 4, and then you see your 3 wild cards. We'll get to these teams. Then you get the NFC. NFC is really interesting because you have 3 teams with 11-4 records at the top there. And we'll see how it all figures itself out over the final week and 2 of the season. And then you got the Cowboys right now, right on the outside at 10-5. They play the Lions this weekend. So that can get interesting as to how the permutation works there. And of course, the Rams-Lions matchup is set right now, but that can change over the final 2 weeks.
The big conversation going into this game was 2 of great teams atop their respective conferences. The quarterbacks were very much in MVP conversations. We're going to get there, but an absolutely dominant performance defensively by the Baltimore Ravens.
Say it again, an absolutely dominating performance by the Ravens defense. It's like you're growing up and there's a bully at the playground and you go home and you tell your mom, there's this kid that's bullying me, and she says, well, you got to go back, you got to punch this kid in the nose, because once you show that you'll fight back, they're not going to want any smoke. That was the Ravens defense last night. They bullied the bullies. The San Francisco 49ers, they roll in. Obviously, we know the type of offense they have, the type of defense they have. They play hard-nosed football. They run the ball at you. They hit your quarterback. That was the Ravens last night. They got after Brock Purdy, running around, trying to make plays. We saw the interceptions. This Ravens defense, we've talked about Lamar Jackson and him finding Zay Flowers and the weapons on the offensive side of the ball. MVP talks and all of those different things. It was the defense last night that showed, hey, we have a championship-level defense. We don't care if it's the 49ers or who it is that we play against. They talked about it all week long. Kyle Hamilton said it. We feel disrespected to be an underdog in this game. Same record. We're going into this game, and everybody is writing us off. Patrick Queen talked about it. We play a brand of football that no one wants to play. They want to be cute, play basketball, and just run around on the grass. They don't want what we're bringing, and that's what they did last night. A dominant performance by them. You look at this Ravens football team, and you're saying, my goodness, if they play like this with the Miami Dolphins next week, who can beat them in the NFL?
The offense scored on 7 straight possessions, too. So you've got this defense that plays bully ball and just completely embarrassed the Shanahan mighty 49ers and Brock Purdy and McCaffrey and Debo. So many weapons. Wow. Their defense crushed them. They overwhelmed them. That was the best performance I think any team has had in any game this season. We've seen blowouts. We've seen the Ravens blow out the Lions and Seahawks at home. But to go on the road on Monday night as 6-point underdogs, I think they were, 6-point underdogs, go in there and absolutely demolish them. I think that's a statement heard around the league. And now it's like, does the Lombardi go through Baltimore? That's how I feel this morning, because offense scored 7 straight times, obviously, as I said, but you had Purdy as the MVP favorite, and it was Purdy or McCaffrey. You choose, because they're both so good.
They could be co-winners.
And they might. Purdy went from being the #1 leader in the MVP. This morning I woke up and looked at one of these websites that says MVP odds. He's 5th. And he's behind Josh Allen and Tua because of what this Ravens defense did to him. He looked like a mere mortal. So much so that at the end of this game, Darnold's in, and they're talking on the sideline like, is that even injury related, or are they better off with Darnold, because Darnold actually moved the ball with this team? I have a lot of great feelings about the Ravens right now. I have a lot of questions about the Niners right now.
Yeah.
This poked a whole lot of holes in the Niners. I thought this would be a good game. I thought the Ravens could win. I thought the Ravens would win. I really did. I thought that they were going to put all their eggs in this basket last night. I didn't know it would be this way. I didn't know we'd wake up this morning being like, the Ravens are the 1 team for sure. And are the Niners really that good? That's how I feel this morning.
The Purdy thing's over. The MVP thing's over.
Yeah.
If he throws 9 touchdowns the next 2 games, it doesn't matter. It's over. You can't come up that small. And it was a really fun ride. He not win an MVP, guys. It's impossible. It's over. I just think the Ravens defense is unbelievable. And there's this play that happened in it, this Kyle Hamilton play, that I want to show you the angle of that you saw on the broadcast last night. So he's going to rush and get taken out. He's on the ground being sat on. That's him. The flag there because he got chop blocked by McCaffrey. He gets up, gets back in the play, and makes the interception. Like, that's superstar stuff. It's good luck, sure.
He's down with a lineman over.
He got this guy's butt on his back. He's, I'm done. Just blow the whistle. Gets up, makes the play. It was that kind of night for Baltimore. The defense was so good. If you didn't watch I'm telling you, Roquan and Queen, they look like Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis, ironically from the 49ers. Like, they look like the same person. They're both terrifying. McCaffrey had some plays, and McCaffrey did his thing, but they were all over him for most of the game. And I just think this game boiled down to, like, the Ravens have a superstar quarterback and the Niners don't. Brock Purdy's got a great future. Great. We've celebrated him. Like, that was a weight class thing where he was like, I'm not the superstar. That is a superstar quarterback. I'm a good player, and I'm not a game manager. I'm not any of that stuff. But, like, that was nothing. I cannot believe Brock Purdy came up that short. I think Jason was all over it. Some of the picks were deflected or blah, blah, blah. The first one was terrible. Yep. I mean, really bad. Opening drive of the game. And Aikman was all over. He's just late.
This was third and long.
And that's the longest run he had of the year.
31
yards. The biggest game of the year. If you're going to come down, let's say these teams do meet again in Las Vegas. Like, we know this. That is not going to be Purdy beating Lamar. It's not going to happen. And I hate to just jump on Brock Purdy. It's a good story, a good kid, and we've loved him. It was glaring watching this game. Like, if you sit with someone on Christmas who doesn't watch football and they watch, like, Lamar and Purdy, like, different stratosphere, different everything. The Ravens had a star quarterback. The Niners do not, and that's why they won by 2 touchdowns. It wasn't even close.
So it sounds so matter-of-factly that Brock Purdy essentially, unfortunately, self-eliminated himself from the MVP conversation yesterday. We can talk about the reasons why Lamar may have solidified it, despite it just being a 250-yard passing game for him and throwing a couple rushing yards. But let's review one of, I think, probably a top 3 holiday gift we all got from over the weekend. As a show, we received the Baltimore Ravens Lion Spike. Yes. Peter brought this to our attention mid to late season, and the Ravens are so generous. They sent us our own Lion Spike. The Lion Spike is essentially their game ball, is it not, Peter?
It is. It's for the player that puts the other team away. A Lion Spike. It's very violent. So
I sent a text to find out who got it last night, but the Ravens, I'm sure, are still sleeping. They're flying back. It was late night on the West Coast. So who would you give your Ravens Lion Spike to this morning if you had to, Jason?
Oh, 100% Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton, okay.
You just showed the play that personifies what the Lion Spike is all about. So it has to be Kyle.
See, it's interesting though. If it's a little different than game ball. Game ball is like, who's our best player?
Closer. This thing is sharp. Like,
the closer on this thing was Jadeveon Clowney. He was all over the place, and at the end of the game, he's the one who's lying all over Purdy and saying, "Hey, sorry, buddy." Like, I felt like Clowney and Matabuke were in that backfield the entire game. I'd give it to those guys.
Clowney against Trent Williams was awesome to watch.
That was fun.
See, I would give it to Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams had the pick at the end of the game, up 2 touchdowns, and that was the de facto.
Yes.
So this is great. And if they go on to win this thing, they go on a long run, we got to do a lot of Lion Spike conversations and hand it out, because we have our own.
Because this one is engraved, GMFB, NFL Network closers. I would give my Lion Spike to just Mike McDonald, the D coordinator. I mean, he had the plan from the get-go. Sometimes you can close something so early and so convincingly that you knew what you were doing from the jump. Mike McDonald obviously did something all of last week on the plane ride over when they arrived at the team hotel in the Bay Area. The fact that he knew what was up with this 49ers offense, that defensive effort was so convincing. And Jason, sometimes that is exactly what you need to see from a team that is going to find themselves playing in Las Vegas in February. Is offense has been great, it's been steady, but it's the defensive presence that is ever so important.
No doubt about it, and just the way they played together. The D-line, you've just mentioned it, Clowney, Van Noy had a sack, Matabuke. Those guys are all over the quarterback, and then the secondary took advantage. Rush and coverage go together, and they showed that.
Let me ask you, would you sign up right now for that Super Bowl matchup? If we're like, here's the paper, sign it. Do you want a rematch of that, or do you feel like it was kind of one-sided and let's mix it up and let's see how the playoffs go out?
Who's your better option in the NFC, I guess, at this point?
I mean, listen, I like that it's right Lions. I like Philly finally got a win. We'll see. Like, I don't think any of us look at San Francisco like he did 24 hours ago.
I agree.
Omnipotent, best team in the league. It was a rough night, really rough night. So let's see a couple weeks. I'm not saying
Ravens winners of 5 straight right now.
All right.
Xuống đây. Rồi, tiếp theo bên này các bạn cũng gập xuống cho mình nhé. Cái quai cuối cùng nha các bạn, quai dép cuối cùng. Đây, các bạn cũng sẽ gập xuống đây này. Tiếp theo cái phần đầu này. Rồi, bây giờ thì mình sẽ đi dán những cái phần quai dép này vào cái chiếc dép của mình, đúng không? Đây, bạn sẽ để như này. Sau đó các bạn dán cái phần quai vào đây. Vòng sang bên này, các bạn dán keo vào. Rồi, tiếp theo phần bên này nhé, dán sang đây. bạn dàn keo vào đây và các bạn vòng cái phần quai này sang đây nhé. Rồi, tiếp tục cái phần quai bên này, các bạn dán tiếp vào cái dép cho mình này. Đấy, vào đây, các bạn vòng phần này sang đây. Rồi, cái phần quai cuối cùng nhé. Sau khi mà dán hết tất cả các cái phần quai này rồi thì mình sẽ đi cắt cái phần bông hoa để trang trí lên cái chiếc dép của mình. Bạn dán keo vào đây, vòng sang đây. Rồi, như vậy là các bạn sẽ thấy là mình sẽ có hai chiếc dép, đúng không? Hai chiếc dép mà có hai cái phần quai màu xanh như này rồi. Bây giờ thì mình sẽ đi cắt cái phần bông hoa nhé. Mình sẽ đi cắt cái phần bông hoa để mình dán lên trên hai cái chiếc dép này. Thì các bạn sẽ để cái dép vào đây và các bạn sẽ cắt cho mình hai cái bông hoa. Thì đầu tiên là đối với cái phần tờ giấy màu xanh này nhé, mình sẽ cắt thành hai hình vuông đi. Cắt thành hai hình vuông nha các bạn. Đây, một hình vuông này, mình sẽ gập luôn sang đây để mình tạo thành cái hình vuông thứ hai nhé. Mình cắt nhầm rồi các bạn, mình cắt nhầm rồi. Đây, cắt cái hình vuông này. Tiếp theo nhé, mình sẽ cắt sang đây. Mình đặt cái phần tờ giấy hình vuông này chồng lên cái phần này. Đó, mình cắt đi này. Rồi. Và để mình cắt được hai cái hình bông hoa nó bằng nhau thì bây giờ mình sẽ gập đôi cái phần tờ giấy này lên. Rồi tiếp tục gập đôi này. Và mình sẽ gập đôi cái lần cuối cùng nhé. Đây, như vậy là mình sẽ cắt cái phần bông hoa như này nha các bạn. Đây, cắt cái phần bông hoa này. Bông hoa này của mình có cánh nhọn và mình nghĩ là nó sẽ có 8 cánh. Đây, như vậy. Sau đó thì các bạn sẽ